My fiancé is pregnant, but the father is my brother, and my family expects me to forgive. I walked out of that apartment, my mind spinning. The streetlights flickered above me, casting long shadows on the pavement, but I barely noticed. My body felt numb, my thoughts an uncontrollable storm of anger, betrayal, and heartbreak. I had always imagined that my wedding day would be one of the happiest moments of my life. I had spent years picturing Lily walking down the aisle, vowing to be mine forever. I had trusted her with my heart, believed in our love, and never once doubted her loyalty. And Jake, he had been my brother, my best friend, the one person I thought would always have my back. Yet they had done this to me. They had shattered everything in one reckless, selfish decision. I got into my car and drove aimlessly, gripping the steering wheel so tightly my knuckles turned white. The city lights blurred past me as I pushed the gas pedal harder, needing to escape, to outrun the pain searing through my chest. But no matter how fast I drove, the betrayal clung to me, suffocating and relentless. I finally pulled into an empty parking lot, my breathing ragged. My fists slammed against the steering wheel as a guttural scream tore from my throat. I wanted to hit something, to break something, to make them feel even a fraction of the pain I was drowning in. Minutes passed, maybe hours. I didn't know. I just sat there staring at nothing, my mind replaying the conversation over and over again. The way Lily's voice had trembled when she told me she was pregnant. The guilt in Jake's eyes when he walked in. The pathetic excuses, the apologies that meant nothing. I wanted to believe this was some horrible nightmare, that I would wake up in bed next to Lily and realize it had all been a mistake. But deep down, I knew it was real. My fiancé had cheated on me with my own brother. And now, she was carrying his child. At some point, my phone started buzzing in my pocket. I didn't want to look, but something in me needed to see who it was. Pulling it out, I saw Lily's name flashing on the screen. Rage boiled inside me. She had no right to call me. Not now. Not ever. I let it ring until it stopped, but a few seconds later, another call came through. This time, it was my mother. I hesitated before answering. "Daniel." Her voice was soft, cautious, as if she was walking on eggshells. "Please come home. We need to talk." I clenched my jaw. "There's nothing to talk about." "Honey, I know you're hurting, but this is family. Jake made a mistake, but he's still your brother." I let out a hollow laugh. "A mistake?" "Sleeping with my fiancé wasn't a mistake, Mom. Tripping over a rock is a mistake. Forgetting someone's birthday is a mistake. What he did was a choice." She sighed. "We can fix this." "Fix this?" I spat. "Are you hearing yourself? There's no fixing what they did. Daniel, listen. Jake is willing to do whatever it takes to make things right. And Lily, she regrets it. She wants to talk to you." I gritted my teeth, my grip tightening around the phone. I don't care what she wants. I don't care what Jake wants. And I sure as hell don't care about making things right. I'm done with both of them. Silence. Then my mother's voice softened even more. "Family is everything, sweetheart. You can't just walk away." I closed my eyes, inhaling sharply. "Watch me." I hung up and turned off my phone, throwing it onto the passenger seat. The audacity of them to expect me to forgive, to move past this as if it were just some minor inconvenience. Did they really think a simple apology would erase the betrayal? That I could ever look at Jake and not see the man who had stolen my future? That I could ever look at Lily and not see the woman who had chosen him over me? This wasn't something I could forgive. The next morning, I made a decision. I wasn't just cutting Lily and Jake out of my life. I was cutting my entire family off. If they couldn't see how deeply they had betrayed me by siding with him, then they didn't deserve to be in my life either. I went back to my apartment, grabbed some boxes, and started packing. Every reminder of Lily, every memory we had built together, I erased it. The pictures on the walls, torn down. The gifts she had given me, thrown into a trash bag. I even took off the engagement ring I had spent months saving for, staring at it one last time before tossing it onto the kitchen counter. Let her keep it. Let her be reminded every day of what she had thrown away. I didn't stop there. I put my car up for sale, gave notice at my job, and withdrew every cent I had in savings. I was done. Done with this city, done with the people who had betrayed me. By the end of the week, I had packed everything I owned into a single suitcase and booked a one-way ticket out of town. The night before I left, my mother showed up at my door. I didn't want to let her in, but a part of me needed closure. She stepped inside, looking around at the empty apartment. "You're really leaving?" she asked quietly. I nodded. "There's nothing left for me here." She bit her lip, her eyes filling with tears. "Daniel, please, don't do this." I looked at her, my expression unreadable. "You expect me to stay and pretend like nothing happened? To sit at the dinner table with Jake and Lily and act like I'm fine?" Her voice wavered. "But we're family." "No," I said firmly. "Family doesn't do what he did to me. And family doesn't ask the victim to forgive and forget while the betrayer gets away with everything." She reached for my hand, but I stepped back. "I hope you have a good life, Mom, but I won't be part of it anymore." With that, I walked her to the door, closed it behind her, and locked it. The next morning, I boarded my flight, leaving behind the city I had called home. I didn't know what the future held, but one thing was certain: I was never looking back. Lily and Jake had destroyed my past, but they would never have a place in my future. I would rebuild, I would heal, and one day I would find someone who truly deserved me. But as for them, they would have to live with what they had done, and I hoped it haunted them for the rest of their lives. I drove for hours that night, my mind racing. I wanted to scream, to punch something, to make the pain stop. But no amount of rage could undo what had happened. I didn't go home. I checked into a cheap motel, turned off my phone, and sat in silence, staring at the ceiling. My heart felt heavy, like it had been ripped out of my chest. By morning, reality had sunk in. This wasn't just some bad dream I could wake up from. My fiancée was pregnant with my brother's child. My wedding was over. My relationship with Jake, destroyed. But the worst part? My family didn't see it that way. When I finally turned my phone back on, I had dozens of missed calls and messages from my parents, my cousins, even my aunt. They all had the same thing to say. "It was a mistake, Daniel. Jake feels terrible about it. Family is family. You need to forgive him." Forgive him? I had spent my entire life being the loyal son, the good brother. I had never once betrayed Jake, never done anything to hurt him, and yet somehow I was expected to be the bigger person, to put this behind me as if it were some minor disagreement. I couldn't do it. The next day, I drove back to my apartment, packed up everything I owned, and made a decision. I wasn't just walking away from Lily and Jake, I was leaving everything behind. I cut ties with my family. I ignored their calls, deleted their messages, and moved to a new city where no one knew me. I found a job, rented a small apartment, and started over. It wasn't easy. There were nights when the loneliness crept in, when the memories threatened to break me. But I reminded myself of one thing. I deserved better. Jake and Lily had each other now. They had made their choice, and I had made mine. I was done being the person who forgave and forgot. Some betrayals can never be undone, and some people, no matter how much they share your blood, don't deserve a place in your life. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more watching videos.